Namaste. Good morning, beautiful souls. Good morning. And so this Advent calendar is coming to a close, and I am in the process of organizing the draw and putting all of your names into this lovely vase beside me. So I have a lot of cutting to do. I haven't quite caught up, didn't write down yesterday's comment names, but I will do that. And yeah, so this is my process. And so I'm going to take each of these little bits of paper and put them in here. Yeah, and we'll give them a good shake. And tomorrow during the live broadcast, I will draw the winner of the grand prize. Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. I'm just going to put these in here so they don't get lost. And then I will carry on, maybe assign one of my children to do this today. So what is this all about? If you're just showing up here, hello, I'm Sadhana. Welcome. I'm offering a draw tomorrow. And you can have one entry for each day that you comment on. And in this gift box will be tarot cards and oracle cards and lots of other goodies that I will post to you wherever you are in the world sometime after Christmas. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. It's exciting. Good morning. Namaste, Clevis. And good evening to Amelia and Saskia. Good morning, Mary Beth and Karina and Casey. Namaste. So let's get to the inspirational message for today. I thought, I wanted to say that I really enjoyed all of your comments on both the collage decks as well as the, well, there's so many I've been enjoying. And it's really great to hear your responses. And honestly, I wish more people would comment all the time. It's just so lovely to have interaction with you. It really is. Okay, let's focus here. Let's everybody take a big breath in and out. Saturday. Day of Saturn. 23rd day of December. Let's just take a moment for a little bit of space in the busyness of these days as we prepare for the arrival of guests and family. And for those of you that are alone, see the blessing in that spaciousness, the gift of being in your own grace, alone with grace. May your heart be filled. May your heart, all of your hearts be filled with whatever it is you need at this time, and may this message inspire and comfort. Fill a hole. And as always, we ask these messages be in the highest, for the greatest good, and that no harm be done. So be it. A very large stack of cards. So if you, for all you tarot nerds in the chat, usually this deck I shuffle from the corners. And I get a fairly good shuffle that way. Yeah. Hmm. This deck has been responding in a very beautiful way. My goodness. This is a fill your cup card. Fill your cup card. You know, last night I left a Christmas party and I went to a sound bath. And I had never been to this place before. Took one of my daughters, and there were silk hammocks suspended from the ceiling. And we each had our own little hammock. And we got in there with our blankets and pillow. And there was a cellist and the healer. It was a really small group. The healer went around and massaged everybody from outside the hammock. It was a really bizarre experience, but wow. What a wonderful thing to do. Talking about filling your cup. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, fill your cup. Fill your cup. And when I look at the card of the princes, you know, sometimes these journeys can take us to things like a sound bath, but I've been talking this last couple of weeks about just really give yourself the gift of turning within. Yeah. The Hierophant. Wasn't I talking about the Hierophant? I'm sorry, readings sort of fade in and out of one another, but I really love this new connection I have formed with this card and that idea that divinity, all of our faith leaders really are based in love, and the transmission, if it's coming from the highest of frequencies, is always love. And I really have been enjoying these reflections because it makes sense that this is a card that comes before the Lover's card. And I've had all kinds of new insights lately, and it's really wonderful how we can build on old study and old tradition and always be in the space of adding new layers. The textures of this tarot are just really beautiful. This is the Enchanted Tarot, and I believe this is the 25th anniversary edition. I think there's like a 30th anniversary. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the Lovers. Here's the Lover's card. I'm pretty sure I sang yesterday, learning to love yourself is the greatest gift of all, or I was gonna say, let's all sing Whitney. Yeah, so this theme continues, and as we explore our connection with spirit, be open to the awakening of your heart. Be open to unexpectedly we often look for love in another and acknowledgement in another. And one of my daughters is really still is struggling very painfully with a recent breakup, recent months ago. And there's this need for so many to find fulfillment in another. And I think these hard lessons that come from relationship are a reminder that the work that we do in finding self-love and learning to see these gifts and these lessons from within are so very important. Yeah, it's great to be in the company of others, but I read a poem the other day, something about, let me just get the first couple of lines from it because it was very, very powerful. And that was about that inexplicable moment when you wake up and it's like you're incredibly happy and you don't know why you're happy. You're just happy, like you're in this state of bliss. Yeah, it was called the joy in nothing. Sometimes you wake up with the inexplicable joy, with your gut curled up in a Cheshire smile, and your left shoulder pulls back into a wink so that no one else can see. And you look around for the source of this smug delight, but can't, and at a glance you find its origin in but can't, and at a glance find its origin in any particular thing, not in the whisper of a morning that gently beckoned you awake just in time, before anyone else would even think of rising at this Mad Hatter coffee over tea hour, before the light of the sun has even risen, so you know that even beauty isn't to blame, not for this. This is the best joy. This is the first joy. This is the last joy. This is joy. This is joy in nothing. And I think this is so powerful to give us permissions to fully feel and just find love in the craziest and the simplest of things. And to find that little smirk and that little smile and go, okay, I'm good. So may you all feel it and let it wherever it begins in your physical body and your emotional body, and let it expand and grow, and just be good. Be good with that. These little moments of just knowing that everything's okay. And for those of you that have been here every single morning, thank you so much, so much. It will likely be very chaotic tomorrow morning. I won't have the screen behind me. I don't know what is going to be happening, but I will be broadcasting at 8 or 8:15. And yeah, I want to wish you all the best, Amelia, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. And for those of you who also can't join, I will see you soon. Okay, let's go to the tarot tip of the day, because my favorite things is going to be a little bit longer today if you can't hang around. So what is my tarot tip of the day? I'm going to my list. Oh yes, okay. I'm working very hard on the preparation for my card of the year readings. And I don't know how many of you are and work with and have calculated your card of the year and do this as an exercise. So my tip of the day is to not only calculate your card of the year, but to incorporate this into more readings. So if your card of the year is the wheel, this is actually a really good one to talk about. If your card of the year is the wheel, yes, you can listen to my reading. You can do your own reading at the beginning of the year to sort of, see and check in with this. You could do one of those 12 card readings, year ahead readings, to see what the energy of each month is. But I invite you to bring this card forward in a more significant way. Perhaps to choose a wheel card of the month and have that on your altar, or your card of the, whatever your card of the year is. To include this card in your little daily draws, in your 3-card readings, and to keep this significator, or call it a topic card, alive, so that you are more aware of the subtle energies of what this card is bringing forward for you. Don't just have it out once at the beginning of the year. Really, truly work with it, because when we have a theme card and spend more time with it, it will start to reveal all kinds of things that it won't if it's just sort of in your mind. Oh yeah, my card of the year is the wheel. Okay, yeah, I got to pay attention to cycles, and maybe I should put a little bit more effort into my lunar stuff. But bring the card out. That's what I'm saying. And use it. Anytime you're working with the cards, have your card of the year on your table, maybe from a different deck, and just bring it forward. I can't say enough about using significators and topic cards. It just adds such a brilliant layer to your two readings. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, good idea. Good idea. Yeah. And then switch that up, right? Switch that up depending on how many decks you have in your library. And work with the ones that you like and work with the ones that you don't understand, right? Work with them all. All right. So I do not have any fancy banners for you, but on the title of the video, there was a hashtag going around called 10 Forever Cards. And of course, I have more than 10, but I think this is kind of fun. And I'm going to share with you, I think 16 cards that have really impacted me, from 16 or more cards from various decks. And I hope you enjoy this. Yeah. All right. And these are in no particular order, and some of these decks I have shared with you before. This is the Textured Tarot, and I know some people joke that this is their what is it, their demi-moire, their ghost card. This is the Queen of Pentacles, and I absolutely love the way that she is so immersed with the earth and the clay. And I just think this card just really, so the test for this tarot tag is, when you look at a box, what card comes to mind? And there is two other cards from this deck that are so very, very close. And one is this beautiful child as the Four of Swords. When I first saw this card, it just, oh my God, it just cracked something open inside me. And then this King of Cups. Oh my God, I would just love to sit with him on this dock and have a little conversation. Yeah. So that's one. I shared with you, I believe yesterday, the Wee Moon Tarot. And there's a couple cards in this deck, two horizontal cards, both from the Suit of Fire, that really just, when I saw them, it just sort of lit something up inside me. And that is the Four of Fire. Sisterhood is powerful, as well as the Five of Fire, which is called Radiance. And I think this is such a brilliant card for the Five of Fire. And yeah, kind of amazing. Now, one of the things I noticed in this tarot tag was that there weren't very many challenging cards that people brought forward. And this is the Five of Pentacles from the Dust to Onyx Tarot. And when I think about this deck, besides the court cards, they are very powerful for me. This particular Five of Pentacles is based on a photograph by an Italian photographer that was taken from the air of a boat of refugees traveling from Northern Africa to Europe. And this is the boat here. And so what Courtney did so creatively was add the pentacles into the water behind it, and also somehow captured that stained glass window from the Five of Pentacles. And this card just always comes to mind when I'm teaching and thinking about the Five of Pentacles and all that we must leave behind to commit to the journey through the Five of Pentacles. And I just absolutely love this card. I will always remember this card. Yeah. And there's some really interesting stories. I forget what year this photograph was taken, but there's some interesting stories trying to find the refugees that were in this boat and see how they were doing and see whether or not they made it. Yeah. Tarot of the Strange Branches, Le Tarot au Amour Étrange. Oh my God, this card is just something. Good morning, G. Welcome, namaste. I don't know that I've seen a more beautiful lover's card, and this is what I was talking about just a moment ago. Is just really finding that bliss within and that love of life. So yeah, that was very, very powerful. And I wouldn't have pulled out this deck, but I remember I watched a few other people doing this tag, and this is from the Gaian Tarot. This is the Llewellyn version of it. And this, I will always remember this card, this beautiful Six of Water, Six of Cup cards, and I just, this just brings so much joy. Many of you have heard me how much I love to play in the water. You know, I'm a forever mermaid, and this just brings me so much delight. And if people will join me in that, all the better. I don't think I've ever seen a nine of air as potent as this. The way that this gorgeous woman is listening with every fiber of her body. It's just extraordinary. And this is also a very potent card for me. I don't know how many of you have been, your spiritual journeys have been moved and elevated through connection in group and in circle. And so, yeah, so those are, when I think of the Gaian, those are cards that come to mind. One of my foundational, very foundational decks that I worked with exclusively for, gosh, how many years? Three, I think, 3 years. And that is the Osho Zen Tarot. And there's a few cards in this deck that were very influential. This is one of them. So, the idea of the chariot as Maya, the idea of moving forward as moving through, peeling through that veil. I think this is quite an extraordinary perception of the chariot. Yeah, and then this suit, the suit of earth, is a suit of rainbows, and that is the child and the knight. So the page and the knight of pentacles. This is such an enchanting suit. Of course, there's some shadowy cards in the suit, but I love that deck. Yes. And then another foundational deck for me, I have to say, is the Llewellyn Tarot. I have a second copy with the titles that are still on it because I don't remember some of the associations that are connected to the Welsh tales, and so sometimes I go back and I read those again. And this is the wheel, and I think this is just, I love this card. And again, it reminds me of circles and ceremony. And there's something about the major arcana in this deck. I mean, I can just sit and look at the artwork of the major arcana of the Llewellyn and be completely mesmerized. That's the moon card. That's the universe card, the tower card. The artwork in the Llewellyn majors, the minors are a different story, is just really, really powerful. Okay. And then, of course, there's the Marielle. And many of you know how potent this deck has been for me through, if you've been following me for some time. And there's a few cards in this deck that really just light up my energy body. And this is one. And, of course, I have a few others. I am a water tiger, and I remember the first time I saw this card, that was really something. And I know many of you have shared the Emperor. I don't think there is another Emperor card quite like this one. This is probably my favorite Emperor card of all time. And then this card I've shared many times. This is another Nine of Swords, and this has been, I would say, a spiritually breakthrough card for me in this deck. Yeah. So, and in that same way, when this is the Lumina, Tegan Sweeney and Lauren Aleta's deck. This Six of Swords, I know there's one other deck that kind of copied this. I really love this perception of the Six of Swords, and I imagine this is kind of how I feel when I lie under the stars and look up to the stars. It's really it transports me, and I love this particular card in that deck. So over on this side of the table, I have one other deck, and along with my kids, this is Tarot of the Hidden Realm. I think of him, like, you know, when I look at my little bag. I made a bag for this deck that kind of, I found this fabric that had the dandelion spores on it, and so I love it when you're in a fabric shop and you see a piece of fabric that kind of matches the energy of a deck. And so when I look at that brown bag, I think about this particular card. But there's a few others that always capture my heart. And I suppose close second is the little boy in the star. And yeah, I mean, I could show you the whole deck. So, but that's the card that I think of when I think of this particular card. Perhaps I should go to this game changer card. This is the 10 of Swords in the Tarot of the She. And this card just made thank you, Tina. This card just made so much sense to me when I saw this. The piercing through of the third eye chakra. If we could clear away and decalcify our pineal gland, and we all did more work in clearing that, and we let all that gunk run out, like, to me, this card is so inspiring for doing spiritual work. I just love this. And probably a close second. And you know what? I don't think I have... it didn't make it to the table. That's weird. Okay. One deck that's not on the table is the one I have in the little purple bag. The oh gosh. Sorry. Shadowscapes. And in Shadowscapes, the 10 of this card in that deck as well too is very, very potent, very similar. And that's too bad. I wanted to show you my favorite cards from Shadowscapes. And there's a couple of Pentacle cards and the Empress that are just absolutely stunning. So unfortunately, that's probably still on my counter behind me, but that's all right. I'm cheating as it is here. All right, so I have, many of you know that Lily White is one of my favorite decks, and this card has been highly influential in my interpretation of the Tower. And here we have an elk, or something in the deer family, who has shed his rack, and there is a forest fire that's going on, and I just think about the vulnerability of this card and how it must feel to lose that much weight. And it really opens my, this card really opens my compassion for this card. And in this really beautiful deck, there are, of course, many, many cards that, and I know a lot of you like this card in the Wild Unknown, but I think that Celia Milesville captured it even better. This Six of Cups brings up both in beauty the light as well as the shadow of the enmeshment as well that sometimes comes up in a Six of Cup cards. And I have to mention the Hermit card in this deck because I don't think I've ever seen a Hermit done in this way with the it's just such a beautiful depiction of the young woman in the heart of the tree, in the vulva, in the womb. It's just, it's, yeah, beautiful. Okay. And then the last two, I did share with you this deck, and I know one of you commented on it. And I think what Bakara did along with Amy in this deck in the court cards is really, really stunning. And how within the bodies of the silhouettes, there is just so much that is there to work with. So, yeah, this is from the Way Home Tarot. And because that deck is out, I was also thinking, you know, is there, yeah, I think that is my highlight from the way home. And then finally, and unfortunately, the other deck isn't here, but let's go to the Sasarai Bito for the final cards. This Eight of Cups, I've told the story many times about this card, and I think there's something extraordinary in the cutting of hair and the shedding of hair. And this may be at a breakup. It could be at death. My story that I shared had to do with going to the ashram and giving up your hair to for spiritual work. So that one is just really, really powerful. And you know, a close second is the Six of Swords. And I think the Six of Swords is such a powerful and sort of underrated card. And so, yeah, these two are my, I mean, there's a bunch. There's a bunch. And I think I mentioned, so remember the day I did the Alleyman Tarot? And I talked about creating a mashup deck and how I actually created a 78 card my own 78 card mashup with favorite cards, and I'm sure some of these cards are in that video too. If I can find it, I'll link it below. But it's a good exercise, and I think this is also a way to help you decide whether a deck is worthwhile keeping or not. You know, it's like, if you look at some boxes on your shelf and you can't recall any of the cards, I think it's a good test. Yeah. So, oh, and the creator of that tag is linked below, and her name, I don't think I have my other window open, but thank you for doing that. And please watch her video, and there's quite a few people that have shared this if you like this kind of thing. So just a reminder, there is a cutoff for commenting. So your comments today, and if you want to go back to any of the other videos, must be in by, at the very latest, 10 p.m. Pacific today. If you want to get those, if you want to be into the draw. And the draw will be live tomorrow, as well as sharing with you a favorite things, a tarot tip, and a reading for Christmas Eve. Okay. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey, and I'll see you all soon. Namaste. Hello, Aurora Starcy. Sorry, I saw you come in late. And tarot is magic. Namaste.